All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Tarzan, Warlords of Mars. Well, Tarzan John Carter, Warlords of Mars, by Bruce Jones and Bret Blevins, Dark Horse Comics, one of four. I got all four of them from the author Edgar Rice Burroughs. Nice looking cover, by the way. I like the striking colors here. Classic. That's the feel I get. You know, I love that. I know John Carter. I love his adventures. I was always interested in his lore and his backgrounds and his stuff. Although I do not have much of him. I have a couple of Marvel comics. I like the movie. Right? It's not perfect, but I thought the actor did a fine job. Not the best, but the girl, I forgot her name. Perfect for the role. She was stunning. Anyway, Tarzan, not so much. I really don't care about Tarzan, but I bought this because I looked up the art, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take a shot at it. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Before we dive in, I want to a little bit promote my channel. I do comics reviews every day. I also do unboxings. If you like what you're seeing, you are not subscribed, I would ask you to subscribe to my channel. That would help me a lot. Also, leave a comment. It's good for the algorithm. I get more seen, by the YouTube gods that, throw my channel around towards people. That would help me a lot. And yeah, that's it. That's the plug-in. Subscribe, guys. Anyway, so we start here. So this is in the 40s, 1945 to be precise. And this guy has stolen some kind of an amulet to the Germans, although he didn't know that, and he's getting his reward, right? And then we go to, Tarzan, and there's an advertisement, and he says, I never did that. I never smiled while battling a worthy opponent, especially a noble Numa. They're turning into a farce, an open-air circus. Can Africa, my beloved homeland, be far behind? And so his name is, I didn't know that, John Clayton, Lord Greystoke. I always thought that he had another name. I thought he was just Greystoke. I mean, that probably is his family name. Like I said, my knowledge about Tarzan is limited, very limited. And so he thinks about Africa, and then he's getting interrupted by the Germans. And he says, he said, that you may know the names of your executioners, English swine. I am the son of one Hauptmann Fritz Schneider, I the son of Lieutenant Peter Obergatz, and I the son of Oberlieutenant Fritz von Gosse. I like German language. It's a very hard language. It rolls very pleasant from the tongue. Perhaps you recall the wholesale slaughter of our fathers a night some time ago on your plantation. They kidnapped my wife Jane, he says. I was protecting my family, even as we protect the dignity of our family names, of the fatherland himself. And if you have a god beast man, pray to him now. And then he pulls on the emergency brakes, and then we have a nice cool fight when the lights went out. We see this flashes of lighting and great art, I must say. I'm really enjoying the art. It's fast paced. It's I love the panels from left to right. There's a nice flow to it, and these guys are gonna get it. But there's only one guy left, and he says, "So the great Tarzan the Ape reduced to defending himself with an icon of civilized man." Ha! And so he throws him away when he says, "A gallant gesture of my simian opponent, if a foolish one." So, and then he's, of course, cheating, right? Shooting his own gun at Tarzan. Tarzan, ducks away, and he also bragging. And he says, "I believe you will find Kurt Schneider less easily disposed of than his clumsy friends." So, and then Tarzan jumps out. Again, looks great. It's raining outside, and then this, how do you call these guys? Train conductors? Is that how you say it? Well, he's got a bullet. And you are badly wounded, Ape Man. You cannot run long from an expert tracker and a German Mauser. So, and he's losing blood. And then our German, well, not friends, the Germans has him on his sights. And he says, hey, kiss my German letter and Kurt Schneider will give you a painless death. But then he's been saved by Jab Baldai. I don't know who that is. It's probably a I know, he's probably friends with that creature. So, but then the German says, "You are the beast monkey, man, and this range I cannot miss. Choose." So he says, "To me, Jad." And then, a lot of threatening, right? He says, "Recognize this, ape man? If it's not the gold trinket you gave your whore wife, a token of love, was it not? Those many years ago?" He says, "Jane, now we'll see if you die like a man or an ape." I like the insults. Back in the day, that's what people could get away with. Now, not so much, because everybody's sensitive. But then the storm is growing, and then this is happening. So at the same time she shoots, the lightning strikes. Now he says, "Lightning bolt. For a moment, the bullet hit me, passed through me." And he's looking around, and he sees his body, and he says, "No, only an illusion. An illusion. And concussion suffered in the blast. Rising, I'm rising off the earth. Can this be death then? Rising into the heavens." I really like this imagery, like he's basically, as he's saying himself, touch the face of God. It's really well done. There is thought put into these kind of comics back in the day. Has symbolism is here. A little bit of religion, not in particular in this books, but there was more thought into stuff like this. Subverting expectations. Using your imagination to create something on paper instead of, going the safe way that we see nowadays in modern comics, in my opinion. Anyway, so he's seeing that he is, flowing. He sees the moon, right? And he also feels an attraction to the red star. Or is it a moon? Red moon? Red star? I don't know. A red planet. And then he is somehow on Mars. And he says, "Twin moons and a flora of rarity I've never encountered before, not even in the last land of Paul Uldon." And then he talks about the writer that he met years ago, and that writer told a story out about a man that's been transported, a warrior like him, to a place called Barsoom, a man named John Carter, who soared above the place where the gravity was lighter than that of Earth. Place of weird beasts and strange men. The sun? No, not a sun. A thing of not nature. A thing not of nature, he says. A thing made by man. And this looks awesome. If this was a movie, that you see or you hear the music swell, like very bombastic, and then ta-da, right? And then we see this thing shows up. It looks great. Looks like a Zeppelin. Probably not, but feels like it. So he's being surrounded, and he says, "Hey, greetings, my name is..." And he says, "Silence," says this woman. "You are in the presence of Purit Mars, master assassin of Zodanga. You will speak when spoken to. I am in need of skilled warriors. Do you fight, Pale One?" He says, "On occasions." And he says, "Brave talk. Kill him." Okay. But then before they can do that, some kind of a monster comes called a Bantin, and she says, "Archers." But this beast is pretty relentless. "Again, kill it, you fools!" But then Tarzan does his screaming and his yelling, right? And then he attacks the beast. And he says, "Spearmen, help him, you fools!" And she says, "Hold, let the stranger fight." Tarzan, being a great warrior. I mean, I don't know much about him. Personally, not a fan of his stories because it's a little bit too out of my it's not comfort zone, but I don't like Tarzan comics. But I admit that he is a great fighter, right? So she says, "Yes, amazing. Observe, Lieutenant, the stranger death technique. It reminds you not of someone. Reminds me, Captain?" So she says, "Come with me," and then he shows some video footage of another man that has the same technique and speed of agility against superior weight. The technique, the grandeur of the stranger outside. Love the colors, by the way. It's nice. I love these changes of colors. It sets a mood. I'm a little bit too quick. So she says, "In the bronze creature below, we have a remarkable comparison. Indeed, perhaps the ferocity and cunning of our hated enemy, John Carter of Barsoom." I love her angry face. "You are suggesting that the stranger would make an ideal adversary for Carter, that the so-called gods that have delivered us this day, that which an entire nation has been seeking in vain, a savior, a being with the skill to defeat their most hated enemy, John Carter. I like that. I like that they want to recruit him for their own evil purposes. I mean, I'm not sure if there is an evil side. Maybe they have their own differences and troubles. But hey, so then this guy is, in awe of what Tarzan can do. He respects him and he wants to help him. And he says, "You have our respect, mighty stranger." "Fool, stop that man, Lieutenant." But Captain, he seeks only to assist the stranger." "I said stop him." And he grabs the blaster and shoots him himself. Tarzan didn't like that at all. She's smiling. And now she says, "Now we shall see." Now it's Tarzan alone against this creature. And this man says, "He's finished. You should have let the Carter intervene. Patience, Lieutenant, yet another virtue you should aspire to." So Tarzan comes in, grabs a branch here that's, I don't know, from maybe a tree here, kills the creature. He won. And he does that screaming, this loud noise that he makes. That animal will, it chills the blood. Never I've seen his equal. Have him brought to my quarters immediately. So I believe she's getting hot. That she's seeing a real masculine man. But the Tarzan then picks up the dead warrior. "I think this belonged to you." Poor guy. So he's been chained. "You're a stranger to the region, warrior. From whence do you hail?" "From Earth," he says. "Earth? Is that in the Ziridian sector?" "It's in the Milky Way sector, third planet from the sun." She doesn't understand that because she doesn't know there's planets outside their own, planet. "I'm afraid I'm not familiar with the terminology." "You fight like a Barsoomian. One in particular comes to mind. Tell me, are you spoken for, brave one?" "I have a wife." "Oh, how interesting. Is she anything like the captain of the Red Cadre?" "Nothing at all." "How convenient. She comprehends the meaning of compassion." "I understand, brave one. I simply choose to ignore it." So, "You hold back, handsome one. Would you be more attentive in your arms were free to embrace pure Mars?" "Why don't we find out?" So he breaks easily the chains and he says, "I've never seen such power. Those chains were iron, rusty iron. Your armaments are in need of attention." So she is throwing herself onto him, but then Tarzan throws her away on the couch. She says, "No man treats the captain of the Red Cadre in such wise, and no man, as yet, has held pure Mars in his arms and lived to tell about it. Shall you be the exception, brave one?" She's using, her foot placing on his chest probably. I like that. And then he walks away. She doesn't like that. He says, "Hold! I can be a lot more persuasive, I assure you." So he turns around and it smacks the weapon from her hand. And she says calmly, "You killed an innocent man down there, a man whose only thought was to aid me. Do you seriously expect compliance with such cowardice?" "Captain, kill him!" And then she is really angry and she says, "No, leave us." "But Captain," "I said leave us, you fools, get out." "You're hurting me." "I sincerely hope so. Strange that I don't mind your hurting me, even that I even find pleasure in the experience. Let me be the first to end it then." "No, brave one." So she shoots him in the back and she says, "It is Purit Mars, captain of the Red Cadre, who decide when the end shall come." And that leads us to, the next issue, this one. So, conclusion. Well, you probably already know it. I like it a lot because I like this. I like retro future stuff, like what's happening on Barsoom. It speaks to the imagination. A guy getting transported to another planet. Try to live there, help people, fall in love with a woman. And it has some adversaries in here. She has pretty long legs, by the way. I also like this Purit Mars person. More stuff from Dark Horse. Wait a minute. Tarzan Predator, Lee Weeks, Walter Simonson and Lee Weeks. Okay, I have to look into that. right? So yeah, more ads, more stuff that is coming out back in the day. Hot Loaded. There was a game from on the PlayStation. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about it. I think this is fun. You know, I like fantasy stuff, even old school sci-fi fantasy. So yeah, I'm having fun. I think the writing is also pretty engaging. You know, I'm getting surprised here and there. The art looks great. And so far, I am enjoying this a lot. So leave a comment below if you agree with me or disagree with me. I'd like to hear your thoughts. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.